This is a game between Maxim and Warren, and this was a very interesting, wholesome game. Maxim takes black, Warren takes white, and it started with the Joseki I promised yesterday. I said that we will get another variation of this two-space low pincer Joseki with the cut. So white extends, and yesterday, I think in Inyoshi's game, we saw the extension, then this Kosumi, and that move of black, which is not the most common. It's rather recommended to play this knight's move, but this also exists. This was yesterday, but today we have another variation. Instead of going up, Maxim pushes. This move is a bit obsolete. It used to be a famous Joseki, but now it's less often seen. White extends. Another option for white is to jump down and then extend, but it's not clear if this exchange is good for white, because it strengthens, in fact, black's corner a little bit. So if white played that exchange, then maybe black can afterwards fight with such a move. And without that exchange, maybe fighting with that move is less recommended. But in fact, it's all very complicated variations, so difficult to say anything definite about it. Anyway, black simply pushes and white extends, which is the recommended answer, and then black can actually push once more. We don't need to be afraid that white goes into the corner. The pressure which we can exert on the group on the side is way too big. Even if we die with the corner, black would be very much satisfied with the result. So we can push once more, and it's generally recommended to push once more. Afterwards, play here. In the game, black simply played Hane, and now white has two main options. One is this move, which is the old Joseki. Then black plays here, and white can Atari, get this turn, which is very, very valuable, and somehow fight against black in the corner. But the other option is to play this Kosumi. It's also a possible move, very interesting. Black basically needs to block white in the corner, otherwise, well, what else can we play? In fact, we can block with another move like this or like that, but playing from the outside would not be reasonable. So black needs to play from the corner somewhere, and then white, instead of playing this push, which is that usual move, white can play actually the knight's move, which is a very good shape, after which white can continue with A, B, C, making life. And black cannot take away white life from white, because then the corner of black has too few liberties. So this is another possibility, and this is, by the way, similar to the variations which we discussed yesterday. With this move, this also the Kusumi, this tiger's mouth, was a Tesuji in this shape, was a vital point. In the game, we see this variation, the old Joseki, then white's knight's move, and how to continue. Well, the old Joseki was to start the ko. But white has only one threat for the ko, and black also has one threat. And then white doesn't have any more threats, and the result becomes good for black, because black got really a lot in this ko, and any other threat, normal threat in the opening, cannot be as big. If white is desperate, then it is possible for white to play a desperate threat. Play here to get two threats instead of one. But this is really not recommended. Like this, white loses really a lot with that threat. And now, well, now black knows that white also has a threat, so probably black will play something else. Black will play maybe here. And now white cannot answer, because white has only one threat, and white can lose too much in this call. So white would probably ignore, and then, well, black gets really a lot. I don't know if this is better or that one. Like this goes back to a famous Joseki, right? A, B, corner enclosure, then attachment at C, and black's answer at D. But, well, the 7-8 exchange is really disastrous. And in fact, there is still an agi in the shape of white on the bottom. So if in the future black plays around here, it will be a little bit annoying for white. If white plays from the other side, black can try to somehow activate that group in the corner. And who knows what happens with white. So it is generally not recommended to play this move. But of course, if white has threats, then it is possible, if white manages to make big threats. So maybe it is an idea to now attach. If black ignores, then well, it's not as disastrous as losing the ko, of course. Still, the shape is much better for white. Still, black didn't capture, didn't physically take off of the board white stones. So white can use that threat and continue. And if black answers, then black needs to be careful. Because if not, if black, for example, plays Hane, then white can easily create a big threat and then start the scary ko. So maybe black would be careful and would play like this, and then not sure how exactly white continues. Maybe like that, and then again try to get threats. But white needs to be careful. If white plays too many of such exchanges, maybe white loses on them and not gains. Difficult to say. But actually, very interestingly, in this shape, AI recommends to go back with this move, even though it means that locally white dies. Locally white is dead. Let's say white plays here, black here, white here. In fact, it's not even center for white. Well, yeah, it's not center. So white dies, but this jump is center. Black cannot also answer here. Black needs to descend. And then the next move is also center. So white just plays up to here and probably leaves it like this, because for now, white also has other possibilities. For example, this move is center for white. So it might help in an invasion into black's moyo one day. And well, like this, apparently it's a Joseki, according to AI. And it's not needed to start the crazy ko. But in the game, white played elsewhere, and now the best black can do is to finish this shape, because white's move doesn't put much pressure on black. It's easy for black to simply continue, and black gained really a lot in the corner, so black can be satisfied with this profit. In the game, black answers, so black is playing with fire, because at one point white might get big threats. But black also plays carefully. For example, now it would be possible for black to go down and go into a complicated Joseki. But maybe it's not a good idea if there is that agi of the ko in the other corner, which white might use. So it gives white flexibility. It gives white a chance. It went like this. Then black played in the other corner. Black still doesn't want to finish the shape, even though it's really a lot of points. And now maybe I would be already a little bit afraid that white might use this peep as a threat. Of course, it loses a little bit, but I think that the threat is big enough. Black needs to answer. If black doesn't answer, then black loses way too much. So black answers, then black has one threat, but white also has one big threat. Maybe now black needs to ignore it, because black doesn't have any other threats. So let's say black ignores it. But like this, black also loses center. Well, maybe it's a possible play, but I think that white might be satisfied. But for now, white plays on the bottom. Black continues. with that high approach. So Maxim uses that high approach the second time, double approach, one of them being high. But then all Maxim's opponent might expect Maxim to cut at C and D, which was Maxim's favorite Joseki, or maybe it still is. But actually, Maxim doesn't go into it. He explores other possibilities and uses different moves in both situations. Well played. Then invading the corner, also not bad. If white splits black, then black is able to connect. Like this, black is safe in the corner. And right now, unfortunately, black made a mistake because when white plays here, we need to answer. White answers, and wouldn't you say that white is over-concentrated? If white really answers, then black has time to play on the left side and black is happy. Maybe white doesn't answer, because in fact it's not that big, the continuation. But the group on the left side is also not that weak, because black can play here and then go out. But instead, black decides to capture white's stone, which is unreasonable, because then black finishes in gote in the corner, and white can now attack the ponnuki, and white already gained a lot by capturing 2 black stones. So this was very, very unreasonable by black. Now what to do? Black tries to run with the group. It's reasonable because black has just created this group and black doesn't want now to die with it. But in fact, it's difficult to run with it. White has this move as center, and a simple attachment captures black. There is no way black can run out. Nothing black can do. So in fact, black shouldn't try to run with this group because it's impossible, and black should just accept the loss. This would be the correct way. But then, of course, it's bad for black, and Go players don't like to admit mistakes, which is their big flaw. So instead, Maxim tries to run with the group, but in this game, it turned out good for black. Because unfortunately now white made a mistake, and instead of playing this move and enclosing black, white played such a center move, but then it doesn't work. White cannot enclose black anymore. Black Haned, and now, well, white found such a Tesuji, but then black is out. Of course, white needs to go out, but black is out. Unless, well, oh wait, what happens if white tries this move? The ladder, unfortunately, doesn't work for black. So yeah, so like this, white can still capture black, but white played something which is really, how to say, not excusable, unexcusable, because white gave away a ponnuki. This is very good for black. Then the cut is only in a ko, but more importantly than the ko is that we gave black a ponnuki. Now, even if black dies, black gained already a lot. It's easy now for black to play here. Well, white can capture once, but soon black will recapture and force white to connect. And black suddenly creates a huge moyo out of nowhere. And this is a very good result for black. So white has to never give such a ponnuki. Like, even if we don't see that net, we need to play this way and let black go out, but not give black the ponnuki, which suddenly facilitates building of a huge moyo. This was a huge success for black, and then black continued the ko. Well, yes, makes sense. White, well, white could play here. This is a very big move. Of course, black went out with a very strong shape, but white also goes out. But white played this one. And then black played something not understandable. Black connected the ko. But why? This ko is not big. And like this, black gives white really a lot in the corner. Too much. It's certainly many more points than what the ko is played for. And the ko would be still an open ko. So instead, black should play here. Well, white has an option to maybe live in the corner, but it's all right. White takes away, takes the ko, and then even if black plays here, it's much better than the game for black. And then continue there, and recapture and attack white. But black connected now, and white got a lot of points. Luckily for black, black managed to get this one in center. This was very smart. Indeed, now white is in danger, so white needed to add a move. So white must have looked for, but now it's not possible. Maybe now it's possible if we play such a move. I don't know. White could have looked for a scenario in which, for a path in which black's block would not be center, because this block is very valuable. In the game, it was black's center. Black played here, and now black can build a huge moyo. Yes, and then black continued with those exchanges, which I already commented on yesterday, that they shouldn't be played. They are not good. They take away black's liberty, and white gets much stronger by capturing that outside stone. And even though it's possible to capture 2 stones in the corner, the gain is not that big, and it leaves a very painful agi. So it will be very easy for white to build a group on the side, having that agi. Maybe black doesn't need to cut those stones, but still, it's easy for white to build a living group. So it's not worth it. It's much better for black to enclose the box. Just throw a stone somewhere around here. This is clearly the most valuable area on the board. I mean, okay, there is also the very big left side, but like this, we get so many points. Let's say white plays on the left side. We can still somehow go into it, but we get, first of all, we get many points on the right side. This was wrong. Then black builds a group on the left side. Not sure why like this, but okay, maybe black was afraid that if white plays here, then black doesn't have a base. Black needs to run, and we don't like to run when we are building a moyo. So this is a good thinking. So black tried to go for a base in the first place, and then white just enclosed black, and black connected everything, and then went for those points. Well, it's big, but the agi is annoying, and I would prefer, maybe even now, I would prefer to play in the center and let white, maybe like this, let white secure the corner. The right side is just so big. But in the game, black goes for these few points, and then it will be easier for white to build a group. Now white plays this one, which is a mistake. It's better to play like this. It leaves more agi, and like this, we are not able to capture black because of this tomb, Tesuji. White doesn't have enough liberties. White cannot even connect like that. And if white connects here, then everything of white is dead. So now white has to just go out. But well, it could be better if white used this technique. Anyway, white got a little bit of a start in black's area, and then tries to build a group. Right now, black has a lot of points. Here there is 10, 15, 16, 20, 5, 33, 37, 47. For sure, black has almost 50 points, and black has a lot of strength. And white has, well, 11, 17, 22, let's say 26, 36, maybe 48, plus Komi. Maybe plus a bit more here. So let's say that white has up to 60. But of course, black has really a lot of potential, which is very easy to turn into points. Let's say just like this, it's already 6 more points on the side. So basically black should be good. Black attached, interesting choice. I think that I would choose this move, even deeper, and captures the 2 stones basically. I don't think that white will try to rescue them if they don't give white any eye. And if white doesn't rescue them, then, well, it's already a territorial gain for black. And then we can still continue the attack on white's group. Or maybe from the top, like this. Black takes away the eyes. I understand, because if black plays like this, then white can live. But in fact, this is a good result for black, because suddenly black gets so much. So this is something which we would often miss when we attack a group, that sometimes we can get a very good result letting it live. So this peep is in fact black's privilege, and then black can play the move from the game. And of course, it's a good exchange. If we don't play this exchange, if we don't play AB exchange, then later, let's say white played even a move like this, it is very easy for white to give away that tail of the group, because it's not that valuable, and that move is lost. It doesn't do anything. White doesn't even let black make that peep. And well, black goes for the eyes, but it will be not that difficult for white to run out. So maybe now it's more time to play this move. It's quite big. Or maybe it is time to attack. I know that I sometimes make mistakes because I don't keep putting pressure on the weak groups. So maybe this is a wrong intuition and it's better to keep pressure. But what do we gain? In fact, black still played away after one move, so not sure if black gained anything. And then Maxim got crazy about taking away opponent's eyes. Well, here this group is very safe, so not sure if it is meaningful. Maybe better to play here. And of course, we are not afraid that white makes 2 eyes. Again, it would be a very good result for black. So white would rather go up, and then we just continue the game, maybe with this Tesuji. Like this, it's probably only strengthening white. Then white played something a bit unusual. I think that this might be the biggest move on the board. And well, the game continued, and it got calmer from here on. Also, here a mistake. It should be, of course, here. Then it is more points, because in the future, when white plays here, then of course black doesn't play there, but connects. And in the game, black will eventually play this move, and later, after this one, we need to connect, and now we have a stone at A instead of B, which is unfortunate. Black cut, but then decided that he doesn't have enough power to go out with these stones, which is probably the correct judgment. Well, maybe somewhere here black might have tried to play a bit more actively, because in the game it unfortunately went a bit too good for white. White managed to still secure 15 points in the center, and this was enough for white to have an advantage. So very interesting game, but when it went to the end game, white got a slight advantage, and then, well, black still tried. This was a good question move. White needs to answer, of course, because if not, then black has a Tesuji, and white might get into trouble. And maybe after this move, black was thinking if there is any continuation in white's shape to, for example, get a double ko, which would be some success. Or maybe double ko is not possible, but then who knows how it goes. Maybe we can get something from the other side. And black played that move, and then black lost by time. So, well, in fact, black can get that little advantage with such a combination, or maybe it's better to start with some move like this, or a cut, and then here and here. White cannot really play this one because then it becomes that double call. Well, there are no costs on the board, so maybe it's not really a big gain, but at least something. But anyway, at this point, black lost by time, but even if black found any Tesuji around here, white would have a slight slight advantage. So yeah, well played by Warren, but also good game by Maxim. Interesting. And that's it. We will now move to Group A.